Hi folks, welcome back. I'm here to do a weekend layout for us, and I'm feeling really in a good spirits today, optimistic, happy, beautiful. Honestly, I don't know what's happening, but something through these last maybe eclipse season and new moons, like I just feel renewed in a way that's really exciting. Um, I was talking the other day in a reading about feeling unsure about what the right limits are around how I dress and present myself here, because I'm also a therapist and there's a kind of a different level of personal boundaries with therapy clients. And then I just kind of realized, you know what? You're 50 years old, you feel and look good in these outfits that you're not necessarily ever going to wear out, but you like to look good. You like to look put together, right? Like, oh, my cat's gonna come up and sniff all these goings on here. He might be in the shot, I can't tell. But I just all of a sudden realized, like, who fucking cares? Like, do what makes you look good. If you're wearing a plunging neckline, so what if your client sees it? You're 50 years old, you're allowed to look good, you're allowed to embrace your sexuality. I've always believed that as a feminist. I don't know why I suddenly started feeling weird. I think part of it is just this is a new world for me, even though there's not very many subscribers and there may never be. Like, it's still a new world for me, like filming myself, putting myself out there in a very public way. Hey, what do you think you're doing over there? You guys are causing mischief. I'm gonna try to ignore them and keep going. So anyways, I'm just feeling good, and I kind of thought this is a great time to do a reading because you feel good, you feel optimistic and hopeful, just it's a nice time, and I'm feeling nice energy. So I'm gonna go ahead and not put so much pressure on myself about this channel because it seems silly. It's only I think I have like 65 subscribers right now, and thank you, by the way, for liking and subscribing and viewing and commenting. I just think I'm too self-absorbed about all this right now. So I'm gonna let that go, and I'm also gonna cover up my bird so he doesn't keep shrieking and interrupting. I was gonna try to let him be a part of it, but he just can't. He can't do it without shrieking so loudly that I can't do my reading. So I honor him, but he can be quiet for a half hour while I do a reading. Yeah, he's gonna keep pushing me on it. Hold on a sec. Oh my God. Okay. God fucking damn it. Let's go. I swear to fucking God, every single time I sit down to do a reading, there's something wrong. And it's because of this tiny little space. It requires a lot of setup and breakdown because I live in such a small space. If I forget one thing, guaranteed it fucks up the reading. So today it was forgetting to cover my bird. It's just never ending. I can't seem to just do a reading without major interference. So I went from feeling really good just now to feeling aggravated. So maybe you're dealing with that somewhat in your own life. I do not know. But we're going to try to get through it. And this is just going to be a general layout. What should you be aware of going into the weekend? What's a general message for the collective here? How can we, if you're having a short fuse like me, how can we chill out? Like, just chill the fuck out. So what? Your bird is shrieking. Just deal with it. It's not a big deal. But I think partly I just would like for these readings to go smoothly. I would like to get in a mode where I'm not distracted. Like, this is my dream, and I'm just going to put it out there. A studio where I can work and make prints and record videos and have things set up and in their place, so I don't have to make every single project happen in this tiny little living space. It's really frustrating. And so if maybe that's something that we can ask about too, like if anyone's feeling that level of frustration that I just went into because I thought this was going to be great, and then all of a sudden, as soon as I started recording, there were all these distractions and things I still needed to attend to, even though I thought I set myself up in a perfect way. I know nobody expects these to be perfect, me included. I just wish that I had a great working space, and I'm sending that out to the universe, and I'm imagining how great it's going to feel when I have a safe, secure, protected workspace with good lighting, all the room I need to make prints, to record videos, to have a nice setup that doesn't, man, stop, Joey, that doesn't require this level of maintenance to just get my reading done. Okay. Serenity now. Sorry for all this lead-in. I didn't mean to do this much lead-in, but here I am. Yeah. Okay. Well, this is a lot of conflicted energy, and it's probably because I suddenly went into a conflict. I was all at peace, and then it didn't take much for me to feel like all my peace was being disrupted. My animals who weren't making a peep all morning suddenly want to be in everything, involved in everything, knocking over my light. I adore them and I love them, and everybody who has animals will relate. It's just really frustrating because I'm trying to do a nice reading without being distracted personally. So I'm going to practice radical acceptance because I've had problems with my mic, problems with lighting, problems with space, problems with my animals, just problem after problem. I don't know if it's hex energy. I don't know what it is. So I'm going to take a little sip here of my coffee and just try to calm the fuck down. And I know I've said that like 3 times, but I think this energy might be present for other people, not just me, which is why it seems really strong and present right now. And it's showing up here. So the first card is the Knight of Pentacles crossed by the 7 of Swords. So you feel like your efforts, this could turn out to be my reading, but that's okay because usually general readings apply to lots of people. You're trying to approach your work from a steady place, from non-rushing, from just being focused and methodical and achieving success in the works that you're trying to do. But what's crossing that is the 7 of Swords. So somebody keeps stealing your ability to do that. Something keeps getting in your way of trying to make your progress. It keeps blocking you, or it keeps undermining you in some way, whatever this is, whether it's a person or whether for me this morning it was like a vibe in here. It just wasn't, I was on a high, ready to do my reading. Then all of a sudden it's like, nope, no, you're not. Your bird's going to start shrieking. Your cat's going to knock your light over. Your cat's going to insist on, so serenity now. And in the higher realms, it's just that. If there was a card of serenity now, it would probably be this card, which is just total surrender, the 10 of Swords. So something in the higher realms, like your spirit guides or our higher power, whatever it is forcing us to surrender. Whether that's surrender what you can't control with these little variables and obstacles around here. This is what works for me right now, so I'm going to stay here. It's not like I'm going to go buy a house. I'm not going to do that. I have to stay here right now. I've changed my whole career, so I've just got to surrender to what I can't control. And what's going on under the surface is that's clarity, an Ace of Swords. So the world may not see how clearly you're seeing, but you are seeing clearly. Other people may not have your vision. For example, some people might look at me and what I've done and be like, that's like a career. Why are you doing that to your career? Well, I'm doing it because it was that, or leave my career altogether. So while this type of stuff may not have legitimacy in the world that I came from of my work, it doesn't matter. I'm seeing clearly about what I need to do, even if other people don't see the direction I'm going in as something that would be beneficial, or even judge it, right? They might judge an endeavor like this. But you're seeing clearly, and that's what's important. So even though there's these obstacles, even though you've been forced to surrender and recognize what you can't control, even though there's been feeling like adversarial energy getting in your way, you have a clear vision and you're not going to be swayed off of it. So that's really nice. And this ace will hover over this whole reading. There's a couple major arcana as well. Oh my God. That's some ice falling off my roof. Okay. I went from really calm and amped and just in a good, I guess calm and amped is kind of a conflicting statement, but I feel on edge now. So you might be feeling on edge. In the recent past, you've gone through a decision-making process or a balancing act, and I have a sense it's around these projects that you're trying to work. You're trying to figure out, how much energy to put towards what. So that could be, and here I'm thinking in projects in your material world because it's the pentacle suit that's describing this issue. So I think in the recent past, you've been evaluating your efforts in the material world and trying to figure out where you want to focus the bulk of your efforts in your projects. There's been some distractions, there's been some things interfering with your projects. You might be a little bit unsure about where you're going at present as you've tried to make these decisions. And what's in the immediate future for you is the Queen of Cups. So this could be you or someone in your life that you're about to have an encounter with or a discussion with or have bring you some support. We'll find out here. You're in a judgment day. So this work and this swords energy crossing it, like I said, you don't care. You're like, I don't care what it takes. These changes are happening. I'm doing these projects. It doesn't matter if I'm slowed down. It doesn't matter if something gets in my way. It doesn't matter if I've had to surrender over and over to what I can and can't control. My goal is clear, and there's a distinct before and after in my life about this work, and it's legit for me. So this is your energy. You're like, no, this I'm doing. I have a clear direction for myself, and I'm moving forward, and it's going to create some ripples and some rumbles in my life. That's okay. You're accepting of that. The energy coming towards you, and I'm going to look at it in the reverse the way it showed up here because of the Seven of Swords, and that is the Page of Swords. So there might be somebody trying to sabotage you, honestly, or trying to steal your ideas. That could be another possibility too. The Page of Swords in the reverse in this case with the energy coming towards you is a little bit shady. We'll pull cards to clarify it, but this is maybe why you're feeling this need to surrender, make some big decisions, figure out where you want to go next. It might be because of an energy like this coming towards you that you're aware of and that you don't want to be involved with anymore. A Page of Swords is kind of like a spy. He's an emissary. He's behind the scenes. He can bring newness and communication and stuff like that. But here he's in the reverse with some other kind of roughly aspected swords cards. My sense is this is something you already know with this Ace of Swords. You may already be on to the fact that somebody's working against you. Your greatest hopes and fears, and this I think is going to reflect both here. With this Hermit card. On the one hand, you want time to yourself to go within. You're really craving it. You're feeling like you really need it. On the other hand, I'm also picking up that you're kind of tired of it and that you would like to move out of the Hermit energy. And where the energy is headed is the Emperor. So that's a full mastery of this situation. So you're about to master this, even though like God or whoever's been showing you you're not the one in control. By recognizing that and adapting, that's how you're going to come into this Emperor energy, because there's some good stuff here, but there's been a lot of hard moments and hard decisions and really practical thinking around the circumstance as you're going into your weekend. So let's find out here what about the Page of Swords. That's going to be my first start. What's happening with this Page of Swords? Is this something you need to be worried about, or what? What's the deal with the Page of Swords coming towards you in the reverse? Part of the reason I'm so tuned into it is because the last several readings have discussed power and control, coercive control, sabotage, narcissism, people possibly working against the person that the reading was about. So I'm going to ask this time around too, is that energy similar? What's the deal with this Page of Swords? Somebody is watching you succeed and they're not happy about it. That's the gist of the Seven of Swords. Somebody's bitter or resentful or envious about the changes that you're making. These are all very, very positive cards that clarified the page, which indicates to me this is what you have to look ahead towards, or what you're already in the process of creating for yourself. It's a change in your fortune. It's a new life, and it's an Empress where you're attracting everything that you want and need. It doesn't matter if this page is jealous or envious or whatever. They're going to have to just sit in their bitterness. It's not stopping where you're going. And my sense is that you already are aware of this person that's watching you or that has been working against you at times. Tell me more about the Emperor. This is going to be energy that you're stepping into in the next, I would say, like 3 days, right? Or beyond that, into the coming week, maybe even. I set the intention that this would be a weekend read, so I'm trying not to have this layout seem like it's going to span way into the distant future. Tell me more about the Emperor here. What should you know as the Emperor in the outcome position here about this Emperor? You're going to be moving into a calmer time after a time of a lot of indulgence and feeling blocked by all the indulgence. You're moving out of that. This could mean something like you're getting serious. You're stepping out of the distractions that you've been in. And to me, this is what the Seven of Cups represents. It's all the options that are not the greatest for you and the blocks that come with that because of all the being surrounded with so much indulgence. You're moving away from it because at some point you've somehow recognized it's not for you anymore and you want to move to a calmer place in life. And that's indicating with this Emperor that it's what you need and it's going to bring you into a mastery by doing this. So you're on the right track by blocking some of these distractions and moving to calmer water. You're going to step into a sense of good, like healthy sovereignty, right? With this Emperor energy. What else about the Queen of Cups here in the near future? Is this you, or what else about the Queen? The Queen of Cups rules our heart center and the world of emotions. She's considered a water element card, and her strength is how loving she is and generous and compassionate to those in her orbit. Her vulnerability can be that she's too giving and she doesn't look out for herself, but let's see. What's this Queen of Cups in the near future for you? Wow, King of Cups. So to me, this is now speaking to 11 counter, possibly. The Four of Cups. So there's a little bit of, well, I don't know though, because it came in reverse here and I read this Page of Swords in the reverse. So there might be, again, some bitterness or some anger about this coming together of this King and Queen of Cups. I don't know though. Communication is going to take place here in the next near future. Swift changes between this King and Queen of Cups. And I think it's going to be a change away from a blocked or ungrateful feeling that's been present here and that you've been actively trying to work through into a place of communication. What else should we know? I'll try to put a timestamp at the beginning of the reading so you don't have to sit through all that preliminary intro from me that went on way longer than I meant it to because of all of those distractions that came up. I might actually also just edit it out. I don't know. We'll see. Keep going. Keep this torch lit. This is your first. So you're on the right track. You're moving towards the World, the Empress, and the Wheel of Fortune combined with the Emperor. So again, that's a King and Queen of Cups. It's also an Emperor and an Empress that's here now. So keep moving towards your goal here, which is this Emperor outcome. You're on the right track and you're succeeding. Take a rest, it's also saying, and stand firm in what you're doing. So this is a big nod of approval that you're going in the right direction. It's not been easy, but you're on the right path and you're creating or manifesting a union between a King and Queen of Cups and an Emperor and an Empress. What else should you know about this circumstance here? What should you know about this circumstance? Stand firm in your center and your truth, so keep going. You're seeing very clearly with this Ace of Swords, so stand firm in that truth. Keep the torch lit, meaning keep your hope alive, keep going, you're almost there. And take a breath and replenish yourself and rest when needed. What else? Blessed, but it's in the reverse. So let's see what it says here. Card number 22. Humility is called for now, as grace is an unearned gift. You didn't gain this by your own desires or actions. To be who you need to be, you can no longer do what you did. You know that, so you've already started making these changes. In a way, you have hit rock bottom. 10 of Swords. And what is required now is nothing less than a total surrender. Then you will be blessed. So yeah, just stay on the track that you're on. You've had to make a total surrender in the situation, which has been reflected here. What's the energy? What's the energy here? What else can you tell us, Spirit, about this relationship, union, the process that you've been going through? It's required a surrender of you. You're being encouraged to keep going in your current direction and rest when you need to. What else? Okay. So this card came up in my last layout, the 10 of Virgo. And it's indicated stormy seas, which we've seen show up here in this layout. It's been a rough transition that you've been going through. Ten of Virgo. Born over the tempestuous waves, overcoming obstacles, fighting the unchained elements, and remorseless destiny with the help of the gods. The vessel reaches port after innumerable difficulties. So that's where you've been. You've been in this really difficult, stormy waters, right? Trying to move to calmer ground. It came right here in the 6 of Swords. This is that, an echo of that. You're trying to move to calmer water. Her sides tipped open, her mask broken, but still able to resist the onslaught of the waves. This card stand firm in your center and your truth. This card represents difficult enterprises, which may lead to a successful result after many losses. So this energy is saying that most of your losses you've already sustained. You're not necessarily going to be moving. You may. Let's just see what the rest of these cards say here. It indicates disputes between partners, relatives, friends, but there will not be a rupture. But it also signifies worries and troubles, but with a final success through courage and through help, right? The next one is Gemini. This represents two pretty little cherubim, harmoniously united in their charming duality. They are smilingly planning to do subtle and refined things, holding the shaft of sly irony and the vibrating lyre of the arts, while they are lyre, L-Y-R-E, the Greek instrument, while yet retaining the rod of the intellectual and sacred science. Gemini is masculine, warm, moist, neither cardinal nor fixed. Convertible, fruitful, diurnal. Of the airy element, it represents subtle intellect, refined taste, the arts, love of music, little constancy in the affections, success in business pursuits, It also gives harmonious relations between the brothers and sisters, which it represents. This card governs the shoulders and often causes nervous diseases or bilious disorders. So, Gemini being represented here in a harmonizing manner. And then the 10 of Pisces. And it's nice too that with this beautiful swan here on this 10 of Pisces card. What does this say here? Gotta find the Pisces cards. Stately and with beguiling eye, the swan glides carelessly along towards the object of his amorous desire, but this will last scarcely longer than the trail of his passage over the lake which he is crossing. This is a card of instability and fickleness in love. That's come up twice here, so I don't know what it means, but fickleness in love. You've had to make a choice. Maybe you've gone back and forth between these choices, because this can indicate, this Two of Pentacles can indicate juggling partners. I didn't pick up on that initially, but now it's here twice in this love and romance. And partners are represented here twice, an emperor and empress and a king and queen. This is a card of instability and fickleness in love. It represents double dealing and love for the sake of gain. In illness, however, it denotes vitality and enables the sick person to stem the tide. It often indicates pleasant things or events, but these are of short duration. Interesting. So I'm going to now get, because I think the basic message is coming out here, that this is still an intense next several days. It's going to still be some intense, tense energy still present. You're breaking through into very sovereign, empowered energy where you're going to leave behind the sort of more base behaviors that you've been trying to transcend and move into calmer waters. But there's still a little bit of just fickleness here is what it's saying, that you might be having trouble even in the future with having all these options. You might be continuing to be tempted to indulge the options. That's kind of what just came through. So actually now what I'm going to do, because you're showing up as the masculine here, I am going to do a quick Lenormand layout to get more specifics about what's the situation here. Or maybe I'll do Kipper again, because Kipper has more figures in it that can represent people. And I feel like there are a lot of people represented here. So I think I still have, you can read a lot of people and figures in the Lenormand deck, but I haven't quite learned that yet, because the Lenormand cards have more than one meaning tied to them. And I've got kind of just the basics right now. So what I might do is go with Kipper instead. So what's going on here in your love life? What has happened that has resulted in all this tense fickleness, juggling, decision making? I think that might be you. I think you might have been in a situation where you've had a lot of options, possibly. Either that or you've been on the receiving end of that and you're moving into a calmer place of like, this isn't going to work for me anymore and I'm going to move on. But because you showed up in masculine energy at the center of the reading, I'm going to choose the main male as your signifier here in this layout of Kipper. Kipper cards read more like a storyboard, and they're really about the mundane world. They're not very much about abstract concepts like tarot. And what I've been loving about Kipper and Lenormand is they help me understand what specifically is happening, because a lot of my tarot readings personally are abstract and about soul growth, and sometimes I want help understanding what's happening in the material world. And these decks are great for that. Yeah, and it came right out. You're torn between two people here, or you've been between two relationships, and you've kind of been juggling them. I don't know if you've been juggling them literally, but in your mind you've been juggling them, and quite possibly in reality you've been playing both sides and enjoying both relationships. And the tarot layout was saying you're trying to move past that and move into a calmer place where you're no longer juggling and you're no longer indulging too much, but there's a lot here still to be worked through is what it's looking like for you. Okay. Sorry, these take so long to lay out. I should just do it like this and then stop staring at them while I lay them out and start staring at them once they're laid out. I don't know. Okay. So that Seven of Swords that came up in the first layout, it's right here with you. You're the main male. You're turned towards the Seven of Swords. So you're exploring quite deeply whether someone is working against you or has been betraying you or has been being dishonest with you. And it's really got you in a downward cycle where you've been forced to surrender. That that Ten of Swords, the cards that came out in the astrological deck just now about surrender and about fickleness, it's here again. You have been entertaining or focused on someone who is being fake to you, and you're in a period of sickness about it. You're worried about another man. You are worried that someone's being unfaithful to you is the sense I have. It may not be that you've been unfaithful. It may be that you're worried that someone's been cheating on you. What came out in the first reading was that I assumed that it was you that was juggling. That might be a little bit of a blind spot I have around. I mean, I'm totally a feminist, but I might have just blind spot assumed you were a masculine who was cheating, because that's kind of the stereotype, right? But we all know lots of feminine people cheat. So you are worried that you've been betrayed in some way and that it happened at work. That's what's going on for you. Your partner here is not your main female, but she's the one on your mind, this false person. You're hoping to have a successful court outcome about this relationship, and you feel very focused on the fact that they've betrayed you, that it's made you sick, or that it's been a negative impact in your life in some way. And it's about work, and you may have proposed to this person, or you may have been thinking about it. What's coming is a change, a hopeful time after this sickness that you're in right now, about a relationship and a commitment and a change. So that's where things are going. Keep the torch lit. That's what the first layout said. Things are going in a positive direction, in an improved direction, with a happy commitment, or at least a change in your fortune. That's here really loudly and clearly, and it was in the first reading too. So whatever mess you're in, don't worry about it. It's about to turn over into something new. This is about to be resolved, okay? The main female, the person that you're thinking about, she's up here in your thoughts, both parties. So you have been kind of divided in your loyalty as well, as this other woman has been. You're thinking about the main female. This is not her, but you're currently in a commitment with her. You're thinking about marriage and commitment and change, and you're very torn between these two people, or have been. There's a change coming for this female as well. But she's in her head. She's pretty sad. About coming together with you anymore. She's worried about it. She's not sure it's going to work for her. She's hoping for good news. She's hoping for some good communication after all of this sadness. There's a lot of sadness present for her. She's hoping for, the reality for the woman is, or the female, I should say, is that, the female energy is that there's a big change coming from her sadness. So this is good news for both of you. You're really in your head right now, and you're very confused. Your thoughts are a big part of what's going on in this equation, is your thinking and your confusion and your denial. You've been in a lot of confusion and denial lying to yourself about a circumstance. The main female is thinking about all that as well. That's where all of her focus is on the fact that you've been betrayed and lied to, and that you've been confused and in denial. So she knows about all of this. The main female to you, the one that you're most concerned with, she's aware of it. She's aware of all of this. She's aware that you've been kind of living a lie in a way, and that you've been sort of in a type of prison, and that it's been a really long road for you. And it has to do with a previous relationship to you, and possibly a child as well, because this rich man here often represents a younger person to you, like a child or a little brother, somebody in your life. But you've been imprisoned through, you feel that you've been imprisoned in a relationship that wasn't good for you. And it's really been, you've been miserable about it, honestly, is what's coming out here. So the other man involved in this equation with your current partner, or the partner that you're in process of separating from, possibly through a court, like you might actually be getting divorced, because marriage, court, change, there's possibly a legal situation happening here. But you're making an end to a lot of the sorrow and confusion. I'm just going to pull a couple clarifiers here about what's the sorrow here. Like maybe you're just ready to move past it. The ending of there might have even been like a fourth party, honestly. Like there might have been multiple people involved, not just two partners cheating on each other. There might have been a partner here cheating with multiple people, maybe, or multiple parties involved in the relationship that's created a lot of sorrow for you. I'm sensing it's about time for me to end this reading. Tell me about the sorrow here. Well, whatever it is, the Ace of Swords is here again, and that showed up in the first layout. So whatever the sorrow is, you've gotten clarity on it. You're not still confused about the sorrow. You're changing out of the sorrow into a joyful place. The Nine of Cups, which is this change right here, and it's a Wheel of Fortune that's indicated, and a big luck card here. And the Ten of Wands. So you're almost there. You're almost to the other side where all this wish fulfillment comes true with this Nine of Cups. You know that, or you're seeing clearly about the steps that you're currently taking to move to calmer water, to end a toxic dynamic, to move beyond it, to regain your clarity, because there's a lot of mental confusion here highlighted. And you're even thinking about your main female's mental confusion. So it's been a quagmire for you, kind of, honestly. But the good news is that this Ace of Swords has shown up twice. You are seeing very clearly. And the choices that you've been making in the recent are going to take you in the healthy direction for yourself. So I'm going to pull just one last card here. I don't even know which one yet. I feel like I just need to kind of sit here for a minute and see if I can feel anything else about the situation of the cards I've drawn. It's so funny. Now everything's calmed down in here, and it's like, now I want to end the reading. The whole first part of the reading was this sort of frantic energy as everything kind of went off in here when I wasn't expecting it to. We're going to do a couple animals here. Who can be an animal guide for you? Through this time while you're finishing up, settling old accounts, settling old scores, getting and receiving the news and the decisions around maybe a court case possibly, or a marriage. Custody might be involved here if this younger person. You're really worn down by all this. The Ten of Wands is really battle weary, and that's reflected here in your focus on this betrayal and the sickness that it's caused you, and sadness. companions for you. Horse. Peace, gregariousness, progress, instinctiveness, responsiveness, spirit, freedom, stamina, vitality, and recklessness. So this to me speaks to the Knight of Pentacles in the center of the tarot. This is your steed. You're slowly and steadily moving towards your freedom. Elephant. Nobility, impressiveness, bonding, self-empowerment, strength, wisdom, recollection, reminiscence, magnificence. So transitioning out of this time of betrayal, court problems, triangles, and confusing relationship dynamics. What other animal? Bull. I love it. Tenacity, dependability, groundedness, selflessness, control, passion, influence, stability, and preservation. So I love the two words that come together here with this bull. You may have Taurus in your chart. I like that it says control and passion. The bull is passionate. In fact, the bull represents sexuality in Greek and Roman mythology. So it's not saying don't be passionate. Embrace the passionate, lustful power that you have as an emperor, but you need to exercise some control. And that's what's been missing, I think. But I think you see that. You see that you've been living in an undisciplined way that's gotten you down quite a dark road that you're now trying to come back from. That's what these layouts have revealed. And this is, I think, a beautiful card to end it on, which is keep going. The strength of the bull is what's powering you through this. Maintain your control, though. Don't go charging ahead blindly. But this is a great layout for you. And I hope it's encouraging for you for the next, I would say, week or so. Things are going to be shifting out of this sorrowful, confused time and into a completely new fortune. New possibilities, changes, wish fulfillment, magnificence, and power, right? So really exciting for you, Emperor. I'm excited for you. And I think that's all for today. Thank you for your patience with the beginning of this layout. I have a focus. For my message out of this is that my goal to continue to have like a more focused reading where when I actually sit down to do my reading, I don't have like 5 different factors I have to be setting up in here in my living space, that I can just sit down and start a reading and have it flow smoothly, and I don't have multiple distractions and discomforts. Those are my goals for myself. Thank you. Thank you for indulging this reading, and thank you for being here and sending my love and respect and joy and gratefulness that I get to do these readings in spite of the challenges. I feel really lucky that I've decided to pursue something that is so fulfilling to me. So that's where I need to end, is not on how frustrating it is that I have to do these things with such a limited space. I need to be refocusing on how fortunate I am that I've found a way to do this in my life, where I get to do something like this in addition to my work as a therapist. So thank you very much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support and for your subscriptions. And that's it. Okay, I gotta try to turn this off now.